Welcome to Inside CPS.
Welcome back to Inside CPS. I'm your host, Jessica Perez. Today you'll see how CPS is creating a new generation of civic leaders, even giving students the chance to connect with a prominent figure in U.S. history. We'll also introduce you to Andy Pickett, whose fitness regimen is putting PE students on a lifelong path to good health. But first, here's the latest in CPS news. With 35 Gates Millennium Scholars in 2015, CPS is again a leader among urban districts. We congratulate these students as well as the 50 CPS seniors poised to become teachers thanks to the support from the Golden Apple Foundation. Congrats also to the traveling scholars from Azuela Elementary, who recently returned from Santiago, Chile. By visiting classrooms in another country, these 8th graders discovered the profound impact that a culture has on a student's educational experience. CPS recently celebrated its partnership with Junior Achievement, which has been educating students in financial literacy for the past 75 years. And as part of President Obama's My Brother's Keeper initiative, CPS was just one of 2 school districts in the country to host a town hall discussion on creating opportunities for young men of color. As part of their civics education, students from King College Prep were privileged to meet with Congressman John Lewis to discuss his life story and the recently released graphic novel that depicts his experiences during the civil rights movement.
It's an experience I'll never forget. It's just so breathtaking to realize that I actually talked to somebody who has impacted my own history.
Today we are privileged to welcome a very special guest, Congressman John Lewis. This visit is especially momentous as it provides a living link to our school's namesake, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
I owe him my rights, my life. Like, I wouldn't have the same life that I have right now if it weren't for him. And looking at him and seeing that he's still here and all of his accomplishments and he's still trying to do more. He's still in Congress. I just think that it's amazing and it makes me want to do more so that I can be like him.
Just think a few short years ago, before you were even born, before you were even a dream, in many parts of the American South, black people and white people couldn't be seated at the same lunch counter, couldn't be seated on a bus together, couldn't be seated together in a theater. People couldn't register to vote, and we had to change that.
He has been through so much stuff that, for us to be able to vote. And I feel like that's very special to me because becoming 18, I'm going to be 18 soon, I have the right to vote.
I almost died on that bridge 50 years ago. But 50 years later, I lived to be able to walk across that bridge again and to stand and introduce the first African American president of the United States. So I said to you, as students, as young people here at this great school, named for Martin Luther King Jr., my friend, my hero, my leader, you must never ever give up. Never ever give in. Never give out. Continue to stand up and find a way to get in the way to make our country and make our world a better place.
Meeting with leaders like John Lewis is just one way that CPS students are practicing their democracy skills. Here are some other projects designed to increase their interest in the political process.
Student power! Student power!
At Chicago Public Schools, our goal is to prepare students for success in the 3 C's: college, career, and civic life. If we want our students to become a generation of leaders within their communities, we must give them the opportunity to practice their democracy skills now. Through our district's Global Citizenship Initiative, many students are now being given that chance.
Stand up if it is important for people in a democracy to have some knowledge of current events.
So civics engagement, or the curriculum, is important because it really teaches you how to be an active citizen, and not just in your community or school, but as you matriculate to college, into the work environment, into the real world.
In schools throughout the district, students are writing their own classroom constitutions, identifying ways to improve school climate and culture, and connecting with their communities through service learning. They are learning about and debating world issues, and ensuring that people in their lives value and exercise their right to vote.
My civics class has taught me a lot about how important it is to vote and being civically engaged, because as a civically engaged citizen, I can have great conversations with people. I can show my knowledge. I can also be included in making my community a better place in everyday life.
In 2014, during our district's first ever Democracy Week, CPS students teamed up with community and civic organizations to hold voter registration drives in our schools. 6,000 CPS students registered to vote as part of this project. And in the primary election that year, these youth turned out to vote in higher numbers than their parents, proving that their desire for civic engagement is there if only they are given the right tools.
I feel that skills I've gotten from being involved in civics classes are just enhancement of leadership. I feel that I've grown a lot as a leader.
In 2015, Alcott College Prep joined Hancock High School as the first CPS schools to receive Democracy School recognition from the Illinois Civic Mission Coalition.
We were awarded Democracy School status by the McCormick Foundation last year. It's a designation that recognizes our efforts into making sure that we're building students' civic skills and feeling their civic responsibilities extended outside the classroom.
They are shining examples of the great civics education that is happening all throughout our district.
In today's teacher feature, we'll show you how Andy Pickett, a physical education teacher from Jones College Prep High School, is giving students the tools they need to stay in shape for life.
We're making muscles today, people.
I've had a love for physical education ever since I was a student back in school. It was always my favorite subject. My name is Andy Pickett. I teach physical education at Jones College Prep High School.
Don't forget our other adjustment, right? We want to make sure that...
So much research currently being produced that shows that when students engage in regular, moderate to vigorous physical activity, that their academic achievement levels are higher.
I definitely think having PE as often as we do helps us learn, because I think if you're being stimulated in PE class and your brain is going to be awake from PE class, so it definitely helps you focus on tests. Like I had tests after this class and I always feel I'm going to do better.
One of the pieces that I really love about physical education is the social, emotional, cooperative learning piece. PE really provides and lends an environment where students are able to sort of mix and move around and get to know their students in a very different setting than a traditional classroom.
Good job, Nia. Way to work. Way to be exhausted again.
Well, Andrew Pickett is one of the best teachers I've worked with in a long time, physical education or any field, because he brings a tremendous amount of background and expertise with regard to the curriculum and instructional activities within physical education, but also a very strong commitment to health and physical fitness and lifelong fitness for all of our kids.
Mr. Pickett's a good teacher because if he sees you struggling at something, he helps you, and if you have any questions, he's always ready to answer you.
In physical education, if I don't know how to do something or I don't have any experience with something, I'm very exposed because I'm physically demonstrating it during class time. So a lot of students come in with a high level of anxiety, or when we transition to a curricular unit that they're not familiar with, they're really afraid. So what I tell students is that I'll meet you where you are, and that's the point where we start building, right? And it's all about growth for me.
This experience is all new to us, but in the cool down phase of our exercise, I'd really like us
One of my missions in PE is to develop students that love fitness, that love activity, and to have students leave this experience and say, you know what, that was fantastic. Look at how many great new things that I learned.
And that's it for this edition of Inside CPS. Remember to send your story ideas and feedback to spotlight@cps.edu. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next episode.